There is no such thing as a bad trip.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't. Guys, I hope everyone's ready to overdose on nuance because this topic is a bad drug dealer. But there's no such thing as a bad drug dealer. Is there such thing as a bad trip? Whatever side you're on, I think the real question to figuring this out is why does the group that thinks there is such a thing as bad trips believe that to be true? And why does the group that doesn't think that's what's true? And why do I think what I think is true? This is one deep rabbit hole, probably Playboy, so get ready. We'll start on the side that bad trips don't really exist. Now don't get anti other side, we'll get to you, but we do have to get over some hills first. So the first question is, does everyone in this group really believe the exact same thing? In one sense, yeah, they share this belief in common, but in another sense, hell no. We can still split the people in this group up into smaller groups because many will still have different reasons for believing that bad trips aren't a thing. One of them, for example, might think that taking a psychedelic in all instances is a learning experience for an individual and is guaranteed to benefit that individual's life. Now this is quite a naive view that we can pretty easily disprove because we have lots of living evidence of many people who have had their lives destroyed by psychedelics. Some people have gone insane, some people have killed themselves, and many will just have a worse quality of life overall. That's pretty undeniable. To which this person might say, well, that's because they didn't integrate their experience, which on the surface sounds reasonable, but that doesn't mean it just negates the existence of bad trips. I don't even agree that you can always necessarily integrate every trip and be better off than not having had it, but even if we assume this to be true, look around. Just because it can happen doesn't mean it always does, and as much as we might want it to be, reality is not everyone effectively integrates. The reality is some people do, some people don't. Not everyone has the logistics, willpower, and YouTube videos to integrate an experience and have it benefit them. So it's still pretty obvious that some people have bad trips in the sense that it hurts them as individuals. And someone who used to be on the no bad trip side and realizes this might be inclined to go straight to the bad trips are real side and start shaming anyone who says otherwise. But we don't want to just be emotionally reacting and flipping to the other side of the spectrum whilst misunderstanding the perspectives of others and dismissing them without actually hearing what they're saying. Clearly psychedelics can hurt people, so what do some of these other people mean when they say bad trips aren't real? Well, if someone's philosophy is that everything exists for the ultimate good, they could take the position that even if a trip hurts you as an individual ego, we're actually more than our egos, and it will ultimately benefit you in that, let's say, it might benefit your soul. Maybe this bad trip contributes to the ultimate good, so the bad was actually always a good, just in disguise, like goals on a night out. This is what some people mean when they say there's no such thing as a bad trip. They mean that even if you go through not just a bad experience, but even a worse lifetime as a result of a trip, the trip still ultimately benefited you because the you they're talking about transcends your physical body. After all, how can we really know if something is good or bad when we can only look a finite distance into the future to see what the outcomes of that thing might be? I feel that a lot of people on the side that bad trips are real just dismiss this interpretation and falsely group it in with the naive interpretation. But I'm definitely not just going after one side. You've been naughty too, since many people, especially newbies, might read, "There is no such thing as a bad trip," and unknowingly interpret the naive version and hurt themselves. If you're gonna go around spouting that bad trips aren't real, you should really be clarifying what you mean when you say that. The way I see it is that it really comes down to your definition of what badness even is. Is there such thing as a bad trip? You could say yes and no. But I personally feel that as a community, we sometimes lean too far to the no side, and many people, especially newbies, are getting hurt as a result. We should try to find a healthier balance between understanding both and how they can each be valid in their own way without invalidating the other. This isn't Tom and Jerry. Of course psychedelics can hurt you, and not everyone has the capacity to integrate it into a net positive for their lifetime. It would be wrong to say that bad trips don't exist, period, because even if something is ultimately for the good, it's still being experienced and interpreted as bad from the perspective experiencing it. So if your objection is, well, they're just wrong or not conscious enough to see it as good, the truth is they don't have the capacity to be conscious enough, so the reality and truth is still that it's bad from some perspectives and good from others. Meaning, reality includes both sides and both are valid perspectives. So I guess that means I take the both sides side, and even the neither side side, why not? Let me know what side or non-side you're on down below. We have all kinds of sides here, like the like button side is really good too, I hear, and also check out these video sides as well. Cheers.